Hey y'all, welcome to IDEX Day 3. We're in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates at the International Defense Expo. Actually, we're technically at NAVDEX. That's a different thing. It's not important. What is important is I'm Lee Ferran, Managing Editor of Breaking Defense. I'm here with Senior Land Reporter, Ashley Roque. And Ash, we were talking earlier about a conversation you had with a senior State Department official about the UAE, about F-35s, about Reaper drones. What's going on?
Yeah, correct. So earlier in the week, I was able to sit down with Stanley Brown from the State Department, and we chatted a little bit about the deal with the UAE over those combat aircraft that has sort of been on ice for a while. However, he says that's not accurate, that conversations have been ongoing. They're trying to work through some issues. He didn't specify, but it's been reported over the years that part of the concern is over Chinese tech within the region, especially in the UAE, and he says they're still trying to sort it out. However, best case scenario, even if they come to a deal, he said it's going to be several years before these aircraft land in the UAE. No word back from the UAE about these ongoing negotiations.
So it seems like a long way to go either way.
There's a bit of distance.
Yeah. Speaking of China, however, you spent some of the day today walking around looking at China's presence here at IDEX, which is not small.
It's not. Just to put it into context, though, the U.S. has well over 100 companies displaying their weapons and capabilities throughout the show. China has several dozen, some scattered around, but there is a main pavilion, and they're showing everything from loitering munitions to frigates, small-scale frigates, to supersonic missiles and ground combat vehicles.
And I know that's a concern for America, considering how U.S. officials are worried about Chinese influence in the Middle East to begin with. So the strong presence here has got to be a little worrying for that. Speaking of worrying things from America's perspective, we're actually here at NAVDEX. NAVDEX is a linked conference with IDEX. It's just a short walk from the main floor here, where foreign militaries can show off their naval assets. But the most interesting thing here probably is the Russian contingent, because the Russians actually have a separate pavilion from IDEX that is housed here. And they also have curious neighbors.
They do. So just a few dozen yards next to the big black Russian building and the helicopters is the U.S. Army. And they are out there with their javelins for everyone to test out. It's not armed, as well as the Patriot.
And those are two weapon systems that were very high profile and in use in Ukraine right now against Russians.
It's true. And some of the soldiers told me today, and I think you, that the Russians have ventured over and are trying out the javelins.
So it's kind of a good reminder that, you know, among all the flashiness and the marketing and the music and lights of the show, these are real systems that are really going to be in combat someday. We kind of have to keep that in mind as we do this. This will probably be our last video from IDEX. We've had a great time, but we'll continue reporting as news still emerges from the show that's going to be going on for a little bit longer.
2 more days.
2 more days. You can find that at breakingdefense.com, as well as all the other defense news you need to know about. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.